What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Post to Post podcast. With me, as always, my co-host Matt Small.
Hey.
This week, we have episode 87 featuring a Pacific Division breakdown. Just checking in to see. You got any good weekend plans?
I got a wedding to attend to Saturday. It's going to be my cousin's wedding.
You excited for it, or you're not excited for it?
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Yeah? All right.
Yeah.
Good. I put you on the spot there. Like,
Yeah.
all your friends and family going to hear you say, like, no, I'm not excited for it. Just in general, are you a wedding guy or not a wedding guy?
No.
Yeah.
I'm like,
They can be fun, like, but you got to have, like, the right people, the right crew. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys that like invite me to like a gathering or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I'll stay home.
Yeah?
Like that
Okay.
type of guy.
Okay.
There are people that are just like, yeah, dude, I'll definitely do that. And
You
me,
seem
I'm
to
just
be like the
eh.
plan guy, though. Like, you like to make the plans and, like,
Yeah.
go do things, get things done.
Yeah.
But gatherings, no?
Gatherings are just like a no-go.
Okay.
I'm like, eh,
What's
I
the
got stuff
cutoff? What
going
makes a
on.
gathering? Is it a dozen? Is it 5?
That's a good question.
Is it 8?
Interesting. I don't know. Like just a gathering of a bunch of people like out somewhere that's like not the routine, you know? Just
Okay.
like,
Okay.
hey, you want to go like the 20 of us like a whole day adventure
Chili's?
somewhere like
You go
Chili's or
Chili's?
something like that? I'm like, I don't know.
Oh, a gathering at Chili's. That'd be the day, huh? Won't catch Matt there. Tell you that for free. All right, let's break it down, though. We're going to start with the Seattle Kraken this week. We're going from bottom to top, worst to first. We're going to finish the episode strong and not be as depressed as last episode.
Oh yeah.
The Seattle Kraken finished 8th in the Pacific with a 27-49-6 record, 60 points, 15th in the West, and 30th in the league. Head coach is Dave Hackstall.
Nice.
They lost 4 players this offseason. Goaltender Antoine Bibeau from the going to the Senators, Connor Carrick going to the Bruins, Riley Shahan to the Sabres, and Hayden Fleury to the Lightning. They ended up signing Morgan Geekie to a re-sign of a 1-year deal contract. Ryan Donato re-signed a 1-year contract. Currently not on the roster, though. 16 goals, 15 assists last season.
I'm sure we'll see him.
Carlson Kuhlman re-signed to a 1-year deal. Andrei Burakovsky coming over from the Avalanche to a 5-year deal. Justin Schultz to a 2-year deal from the Capitals. And goaltender Martin Jones coming over from the Flyers for 2 years.
Making some moves.
One notable UFA here is Daniel Sprong. 14 goals, 6 assists between the Capitals and the Kraken. And one trade as well. They traded their 2023 third and fourth round picks to the Columbus Blue Jackets in exchange for Oliver Bjorkstrand. Pretty big come up right there.
Yeah. Making moves. They knew it. They knew they needed to make some moves this offseason. Here you go. They're not gonna go from last to first at all, but they are making some headway to move up that Pacific Division ladder.
Yeah, and I think it might be easier to accomplish than we think here. Moving up this ladder, like it sounds like a big feat, but at the end of the day, I don't think this division's that strong. This is potentially the weakest division we've covered. Would you agree? I feel like there's 2 strong teams here, and the rest there's a little bit of a dip off, a little bit of a slide. What division do you think is weaker?
I say half and half with this division. I don't know. I feel like the Central. When we were going through the Central, I was just like, could
St.
go
Louis,
either way,
Colorado.
a lot.
I think it can, but I think that's because there's so many like decent teams.
Mhm.
Whereas this one, I feel like there's a lot of bad teams. Like I don't think this isn't to disparage LA, but I don't think the Cali teams are very respectable. Like I don't think
Really?
I don't think I look at any of those 3 teams and say like they're a force.
Wow.
Like they're gonna go to the conference finals.
Oh yeah. But they are getting better and better though.
Yeah,
So,
they're getting better, but
yeah. But
I'm
that-
talking
but-
about Seattle trying to move up the ladder.
Right, if
I
you-
think it's feasible.
Right, and I get where you're going now. If you're talking about the LA Kings comparing them to the Edmonton Oilers or the Calgary Flames, you're like, no, I can't. Do
Right.
that.
I think like those 2 teams are the strong teams out here. And I think in any other division, you're going to find 3 or 4 teams, whereas in this, you only have like 2,
Yeah.
that are head and shoulders above the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. Yep.
But anyways, let's stick to Seattle here for a minute. I am starting to really like the way that the forwards are looking. Yanni Gourde on the third line center is really good to me. These guys have a lot of like, I want to say like the secondary pieces that can get the job done on other teams, like Jordan Eberle, Carson Kuhlman, Brandon Tanev, all of these names, like Donskoy, McCann. That's their bottom 2 lines that I'm reading off basically. And those guys could be like first or second line, wings
Right.
to work with other teams. But none of these guys, I don't think, will center a line or run a line and drive offense the same way that, other teams have that across multiple lines.
Right. I'm with you on that. And we just talked about Ryan Donato not being on that roster, but I guarantee he will be. So we could we'll definitely add Ryan Donato to this talk too. And I feel like Ryan Donato was a solid player for the Seattle Kraken to have last season. Just in general, we were watching a few highlights of him before recording this podcast, and we were just kind of like refreshing our minds. And Ryan Donato had a lot of moves there too. Good passing, good playmaking, some goals.
Yeah, but he's again like I'd slot him into that third or fourth line at best. Like he's not going to come up and be first, second line guy and drive the team, which is what they need. They need a real, I'd say, superstar to come in and change the pace, especially on offense. They have Matty Beniers as their starting center, and he's just coming up as a draft pick from 2021.
Yeah.
I don't know, just kind of nothing really that's going to catapult the team up the divisional ladder. Yeah. And then on defense, like nothing to really write home about. I like Jamie Oleksiak a lot. Adam Larson and Vince Dunn are your top pair. I don't know too much there. I do like Justin Schultz. Mm-hmm. And then in net, Grubauer didn't have the best season last year. I think career worst, is that right?
Career worst stats,
and Martin Jones coming over, I think, right? Or no, he was here midway last season?
I think it was midway.
Yeah. So either way, I mean, I need Grubauer to have a bounce-back year. And no offense, I don't know what Martin Jones is really going to do for this team. No. Chris Driedger's out for a little bit. Do you know what he's out with?
I think he kept the knee injury, to be honest. I think he's still out with that in the IR. As I guess we're hearing February 7th around then he's supposed to be back. So It's going to be mainly Philip Grubauer in net or Martin Jones here. I think with a team like Seattle Kraken, they'll kind of be half and half with the starts for these guys.
I am excited to see Bjorkstrand come over, but again, not a superstar, not the guy that's going to drive the team. And they're still without a captain, correct?
It's a good question.
I think they're one of the few teams without one.
I had the list. There's like 5 or 6. I guess I was hearing Buffalo Sabres. I think they're on the list for to add another captain pretty soon. I can't. I honestly can't remember. You put me on the.
I feel like this isn't a team that you need to put a C on because there isn't a guy there that's going to do it unless it's like a real big locker room presence guy.
Right.
I just this team needs something more to show me that they're an NHL club, basically.
Right. I mean, the top guys, like we're talking about, like Burakovsky, career high, 22 goals, 39 assists last season. Oliver Bjorkstrand, another career high, 28 goals, 29 assists last season with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Some good pickups there. I mean, Jordan Eberle was getting the job done, 21 goals, 23 assists. But I don't think they have that guy. Jared McCann led the team in goals and career high stats with 27 goals and 23 assists. But I mean, it stops for some reason at like 25, 30 mark
and
goals.
That's so low for your team leader to only put in 27 when a guy like Austin Matthews puts in 60 in a season.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like the best guy on one team is doubling your best guy.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like you see like the top brass teams and like the top scorers at least 40 goals plus.
Yeah,
not putting
that's fair
about Kraken, but.
That used to be like back in the day. I wouldn't even say back in the day. 5 to 10 years ago, 40 was like the number that like if you can crack that, you're like an all-star, superstar. Yeah. And now like 60 is that number, like 55, 60. Mm-hmm. But like 40 is like almost like that's the threshold to be like really good. Yeah. It's not superstar, but it's like leading a team and like putting the puck in the net consistently.
Right. Yeah. You need to score goals to win, and this team. You need those players to break that. I know I was talking about career highs, but they need to break another career high next season in order to help the Seattle Kraken move up a bit.
Yeah, and I think it's just a team that is built to be everyone contributes, and that's great, but you do need some to contribute more than others. So I have these guys slotting in at the 7th seed.
Oh, okay. You moved them up a bit.
I moved them up one.
I still got them last.
That's fair.
We talked about them when they came in. Just like it might be a few seasons before they can start really moving up.
I did it out of pure love for the team and to see them get a little boost, a little reason to watch them and a reason to drive them up a little bit. But we'll
still
see.
One on jersey. Still one of the sickest logos in the league.
I'll agree. Mm-hmm. I'll agree there. I love their alternate too.
Oh,
I think we talked about it back in the day. For any of you new listeners, though, the alternate logo is an anchor. And it goes on their shoulder here. They might have an alternate jersey that would eventually have it on the chest. But the center piece of the anchor that goes vertical is actually the Seattle Space Needle. So it's really cool. Yeah, the top of the anchor. Really, really cool little snippet there.
Nice.
So I'd love to see that as the main logo one time. All right, good to move along.
Let's do it.
Let's go. Anaheim Ducks, 7th in the Pacific, 31, 37, and 14 record, 76 points, 13th in the West, and 23rd in the league. Head coach is Dallas Eakins. We lost a few players here. Ryan Getzlaf has retired. Vinny Lettieri is on his way to the Bruins. Jerry Mayhew to the Panthers. Buddy Robinson to the Blackhawks. And 2 players to the Wild here, Andre Schuster and Sam Steele. They signed 5 here. Isaac Lundestrom re-signed a 2-year contract. Urho Vakanainen re-signed a 2-year contract. Frank Vetrano from the Rangers signed a 3-year contract. Ryan Strome, also from the Rangers, signed a 5-year contract. And John Klingberg from the Stars, a 1-year deal. I like seeing him move over here.
Right, me too.
Notable UFAs is Zach Aston-Reese, 5 goals, 10 assists between the Penguins and the Ducks, and Sonny Milano, 14 goals and 20 assists.
Mm-hmm.
The Ducks traded away their future considerations to the Minnesota Wild in exchange for Dmitry Kulikov.
Making some moves here. Man, those losses hurt. Ryan Getzlaf being retired. I mean, Vinny Lettieri, Mayhew, Robinson, Schuster.
I feel like a guy like Getzlaf, he did it right, where he like rode off into the sunset. You know, he wasn't having career lows. He wasn't having, all-star seasons where he's thinking about like, oh, can I keep it going? And he didn't like keep dragging it out. Like, no offense, some guys like Thornton and Chara and guys like that really like want to stick around. Nothing against them, but Getzlaf, I think, like rode off into the sunset proper. Like, yeah. I like the way he went out.
Mm-hmm. Lundstrom's a great sign here for the Ducks. We're just, again, watching a few highlights of his, and, man, holy shit, he's that guy that crashes into the net, can make plays, fucking tape to tape, can shoot and score. And I thought this was just he's like low-key guy, too, which I like. Just like if you're an Anaheim Ducks fan, like full-blown fan, you know who this Lundstrom guy is, So great pickup, or great re-sign for the Anaheim Ducks. But they are looking good in my eyes. Like, I think they're coming up a bit. Maybe a little more moves, a little more puzzle pieces to fill in. But because we were just talking about the California teams, and they kind of, I got kind of all three of them just kind of like in the middle of the Pacific right now. You kind of agree with me on that? We're just here or there.
I have them very separated because they're the 3 California teams, and I don't want to get too deep into where I have them in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
But there's definitely a mindset to the fact that they could be very close together.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think if they were in any other division, they would be grouped very close together.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they definitely shored up their defense here. John Klingberg was the biggest one for me. Really glad to see that guy get paid. Landing with the Anaheim Ducks is going to be good for him, I think. He's a bit younger, and I think with a core like this, he's going to learn a lot from this team and grow himself and the club all together at the same time.
Right.
Dmitry Kulikov is slotting in your third line with Kevin Shattenkirk, which is like a nice veteran presence and has some playoff experience too.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Good to see that.
Well, they're bringing in the young guns too. They have the young guns.
Exactly.
Trevor Zegras here, Troy Terry. I mean, these guys are just Mason McTavish. These guys, the young guns coming in. I think they're solidifying themselves as like the new come-ups for the Anaheim Ducks. So it might, again, veteran presence with these guys is great. They're going to show them the way, and then just like Ryan Getzlaf here, just like retire and see these guys. Oh, God, I was going to say the word blossom. Whatever. Blossom.
Yeah, Blossom's good.
Yeah, Blossom's
Nothing
good.
wrong with that.
Blossom into the league, blossom with the Anaheim Ducks organization. And it's going to be awesome to see. They need those. It's a good mix. Good mix. We've been talking about, like, young guys get the job done. We were talking about the Pittsburgh Penguins or something like that, like the oldest team in the league right now. And it's all young guys. It's all young.
I will say that I think this team shades too far to the young. And where they do have the older age, I think they shade too far to the old. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's got to be that tipping point, that middle ground. I'm thinking that Getzlaf kind of, tipped his cap over to Zegras and passed on the C in a sense, and those kind of captaincy, manners,
Mm-hmm.
because he's becoming quickly a face around the league, a talking point, and he's great with media, great with all those things. And I think he's that guy in the locker room too. He's just very down to earth and open with his team, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of think that eventually he is going to get that C.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Right. Like, I want to move on here to the defense too.
Hit it.
So defense is even looking good. They have the forwards looking good, defense looking good. Cam Fowler with a career high 33 assists last season. Jamie Drysdale with his first full NHL season with 28 assists, with his 5th best among rookies, by the way. Urho Vakinen, just a good pickup. He played for the Bruins and then Ducks last season. Klingberg with 41 assists. Kulikov, Shattenkirk. I mean, just great defense. I think the only problem that they're having, hopefully they don't have it this next season, but John Gibson in net was not looking too pretty, and I don't think he can really blame the guys in front of him. I know they had like a little rough start. They weren't doing too good in the Pacific last season, but John Gibson just in general, career worst GAA with a 3.19 and tied for second career worst save percentage with a .904. So he needs to just step his game back up and be that John Gibson guy that we know, and we might see a different Ducks,
Yeah, I think that he definitely can. He's one of those guys that if he was, barring last year, if he was on any other major market team, he would be a face of the league. But since he's on Anaheim, like, they don't get the spotlight as much. There's not as much reason to really, showcase a goalie that's out in California, at the end of the day. Like, I mean, Jonathan Quick, yeah, but he is like the outlier,
Yeah.
I think he's the only reason he got that was because of how highly touted of a prospect he was and how quickly his success came. But we'll go to LA in a minute. But I think that Gibson is like on pace to have a bounce back year, especially with the team that they put in front of him.
Let's hope.
I think it can happen. I think this is the year.
Yeah. Nothing too crazy, but I think this is the year to give him a little bounce back.
I think a little crazy. I'm putting him in the 5th seed.
Ooh, hey. Well, I'm kind of with you. I got them in the 6th seed.
6th seed, okay.
Yeah, I'm with
So
you
they're
on
only
that.
bumping up 1, right, for you?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. I wanted them badly in my top 4 just because I like this team a lot. I think they have everything they need except for grit.
Yeah.
There's no one that's going to back up the guys like Zegras when he's doing those fancy moves and gets rocked. Like, I can't name a guy that's going to go out there and drop him for him.
Right. Right.
I mean, that could be me just not knowing, but in my opinion, I don't see the grit and the fear factor in this team.
No.
Who are you scared of? Comtois is kind of scary. I think that's really it, though.
Mm-hmm. Who? Yeah, you're right. Who's gonna drop the gloves?
Shattenkirk, I guess, but
Shattenkirk.
none of those guys like scream like, "Don't hit my players." You know what I mean?
Right. No.
That's where I'm getting to.
No, it's not like Tom Wilson guys or
Yeah,
like
Ryan Reeves.
Yeah, Ryan Reeves, like those guys are just like don't mess with the. They all had those. Remember Sidney Crosby when he came up? God, there was like 4 Pens plays at the time. Are just like don't mess with him. You mess with him, you're messing with us, and they don't have that for the Anaheim Ducks.
Now, granted, you needed it then, and also it was easier to make a name for yourself back then doing that. Now you need to be able to also put the puck in the back of the net and be effective on ice too. So
Yeah.
that's part of it. Like, that part of the game is kind of fading away, but you still kind of need it. So it's a very weird line to walk.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting look at the Anaheim Ducks. Like again, these middle where I have been like 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th is just like I was so back and forth throughout all these teams that like where they are is still to me just like I don't know.
I feel like every team I wrote down is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna finish this season and this division is just gonna be shit.
Yep. I could be wrong with every single one of these. Like, it's just insane. Like how I think this is the most unconfident I've been with like a 1 through 8. Like, there's a few that was like I felt confident in like a bunch of my things, and then I would throw like a curveball just to see what the hell it was, like Toronto and first. Or,
Yeah, you don't have to remind me.
Yeah, just some random curveballs.
Winnipeg.
You never know. Winnipeg. Yeah, you never know. The season hasn't started, but this one is just like I don't know. Just so it literally could go anywhere with this. So I got them again in 6th, and you have in 5th. You said?
Yeah, I'm 5th.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Just because I want to see them succeed, and
Mm-hmm.
bumping up 2 spots ain't too tough in this division, I'd say.
No.
All right, San Jose Sharks. You ready for them?
Yes.
6th in the Pacific last season, a 32, 37, and 13 record, putting up 77 points. 12th in the West, Jesus. 22nd in the league, and 2nd in the NHL with an 85.2% penalty kill. Head coach is David Quinn, replacing Bob Bugner. Players lost. Anthony Bitetto to the Panthers, Ryan Dzingel to the Hurricanes, goalie Alex Stalock to the Blackhawks, and Nicholas Melik to the Flames.
Nice.
They have signed Oscar Lindblom from the Flyers to a 2-year contract, Nico Sturm from the Avalanche to a 3-year contract, Marcus Nudavara from the Panthers to a 1-year contract, Matt Benning from the Predators to a 4-year contract, 2 goalies here, Aaron Dell from the Sabres for 1 year, and Kaapo Kakkonen to a 2-year contract, Luke Kunin from the Predators for 2 years, Steve Lorentz from the Hurricanes for 2 years, and Mario Ferraro re-signed a 4-year contract.
Damn.
One notable UFA, Jonathan Dahlin, 12 goals, 10 assists, and I'll let you handle the trades because I'm out of breath.
Okay. Just sounds like it. So for the trades, the San Jose Sharks traded John Leonard and their 2023 third-round pick to the Nashville Predators in exchange for Luke Kunin. The San Jose Sharks traded Brent Burns and Lane Pedersen to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for Steven Lorentz, goalie Eetu Makianemi, and a conditional 2023 third-round pick. Lastly, the San Jose Sharks traded goalie Aiden Hill to the Vegas Golden Knights in exchange for the 2024 fourth-round pick. So, the San Jose Sharks were on an absolute signing spree. They lost 4 players, but there's like one re-sign here. They just picked up a bunch of players. I'm loving it, actually. Sharks are trying to come back up,
Yeah, it's nuts to see them move on from Aaron Dell and Brent Burns in one season. Like those are 2 pretty decent building blocks. And I mean, I say building block in the sense that like you can build a team around Aaron Dell. I think he's going to be a solid 1B guy. I don't know if he's necessarily a starter, but like if you maintain a 1B, you can turn him into a 1A, I think. And Brent Burns in the sense that he's just a cornerstone of this organization. He's been here for so long.
Right.
I think a main factor in San Jose this season is going to be Erik Karlsson. They really need him to step up and be the man that he used to be on that blue line, especially with his D partner Brent Burns being missing.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. I don't know. I think they look fine. Kevin LeBlanc, we need LeBanc. Sorry, he needs to come back. Hopefully, come back and fully. What am I trying to say? Repaired and refreshed. He missed several months with surgery on his dislocated shoulder last season. Only played 22 games played. So having him back in line would be awesome for the San Jose Sharks. Some guys just need to step up, and it's just that bottom line, really. I feel like I could say that with every team, though. The bottom line, it's just they're the bottom line, don't really produce as much. But
I mean, I'm looking at that third line, too. And once you see two of the 4 lines that are kind of questionable, like Nick Bonino, Noah Gregor, and Luke Kunin on the third line, that doesn't scream success to me. And I think that's when I start to get a little shaky because that's, your first and second line guys eat up more minutes, but, that's half of your forward presence that may not be too, impressive.
Right.
I do love Tomas Hertl, Timo Meier, and Logan Couture, though. Like, those 3 guys really do it for me. I do like to see them a lot.
Again, we're looking at a team that was like, I mean, you saw this throughout like our whole division breakdowns where a bunch of guys just got injured throughout the entire season. And I could say the same thing with the Sharks, man. Like Marcus Ninavara was on IR last season. I don't know. They need to come in that full refreshed team and really get off the jump with a fresh set of legs here. That's what the San Jose Sharks need. And I feel like they have the guys. I feel like they have the roster to really get that done. They need to, like, come out the gate storming and really show, like, hey, we picked up these guys. We're a new Sharks team, really, with that said, and, come out guns blazing.
They do need to come out guns blazing. That's one thing that I agree with you on. Mm-hmm. I don't think they have the guys to do it. I'm looking at the net, and I am not very confident in a Kaapo Kähkönen and James Reimer pairing, personally. I look at the defense, and I say your top defenseman, in my opinion, should be Erik Karlsson. I don't know if he's that guy anymore.
Right.
I do like Vlasic. I don't know much else about their defense in sense of, what's really going to impress. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, Hertl, Meier, Couture. Those are my 3 guys. From there, I think there's a significant dip-off, and I put these guys dead last in the division.
Oh, you put the Sharks dead last?
I did. And I hope that they're going to upset me, but it's not too far off for them to fall. I mean, it's really banking on the Kraken to step their game up, but I think any other team in this division can surpass the Sharks, even before all of these offseason moves.
Wow.
And now, after moving on from Brent Burns, they're, in air quotes, starting goalie. I don't think they're going to finish last, but I had nowhere else to put them, and I think that they're the team that can finish last.
Interesting. I want to go back to what you're talking about with James Reimer. James Reimer I have here on most games played since entering the league in 2010 with the Maple Leafs, which is oddly weird to me to see that. 2.90 GA and .911 save percentage.
You know what that tells me? The stat you just said? Yeah. That tells me he hasn't been paired with a guy that the team was confident enough giving him more starts or even starts with the starter. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, either that or maybe he got injured when he was the starter. Like, that's really the only reason. And that's another question mark to me, too. Those are really good numbers last year. 2.9 and a .911 save percentage. And then 19, 17, and 10 record. Not very impressive, but the stats otherwise are pretty good for him, I'd say.
And then right next to him, Kaapo Kähkönen, pretty close in the same. So he has got a 2.87 GAA and a .912 save percentage. So I feel like this is just like 2 backups.
Yeah, a couple of 1Bs, I'd say,
Yeah, right. Just like in net. They don't have that.
Yeah, I wouldn't even give him 1B, actually. I'd call him like a solid backup.
You think so? Yeah. I think James Reimer would really need to step up his game or Capo Kakinen's going to take over.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't put my money on it. And the only team that I could see them finishing ahead of is Seattle, and I honestly flipped them just to flip them.
Wow, interesting.
What about you? Where do you have them sitting?
So with all like the sign, I know again we talked about they're moving on from Brent Burns there, but I mean with all the signings here, you got Lindblom, Nunavara, Benning. You picked up Dell and Kakinen too. Aaron Dell might be brought up, and maybe
wow.
we'll
I'm
see
surprised that he. Well, no, I guess not. I was gonna say I'm surprised he hasn't been, but
Right.
you can't really start him over those two guys. I'd say.
Steven Lorentz, I like him, and so do I. I also like Luke Kunin. I think they're gonna help out. They're gonna be a different Sharks team, and I have some faith in the Sharks organization. So I'm gonna.
I do too, actually. I do like Greer.
Yep. So Mike Guerrero, I think is gonna turn some heads here in the league, and I think he'll get it done. That's why I got him shooting up to fourth.
Fourth, you got him in the playoffs? Well, maybe.
Question mark. Yeah.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Mike Greer thing, but I feel like a new GM doesn't change an organization in 1 year. You know, he's making a big impact by signing these guys, but it takes 2 or 3 years to really see how a GM has done, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I guess only time will tell. Fourth, that's kind of nuts to me. I wouldn't put in like the Toronto, Winnipeg kind of nuts yet, but I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, we're on two different spectrums with that, huh? You got him dead last. I have him coming up fourth.
Yeah, and you put Seattle. Where'd you put them? Last.
Yep.
I do this every week. I forget to write them down as you go.
We'll talk about
And
that too.
who did we do in between? Anaheim, right? You have them seventh.
And the Anaheim Ducks have them in sixth.
All right.
But
Cool.
Yep, I got full faith in Mike Greer.
Man, to see them jump up 4 spots, that's impressive.
It can happen.
I don't have any numbers to back that. But I also don't have numbers to say that it doesn't happen.
Nope.
Moving right along here. The Vancouver Canucks, 5th in the Pacific, 40-30-12 record, 92 points last season. 10th in the West. I'm sorry, I didn't skip a team, did I?
Nope.
All right, good. Just making sure. 5th in the Pacific, 40-30-12 record, 92 points. 10th in the West, 18th in the league. 9th in the league in power play percentage with a 23.5%. Their head coach is Bruce Boudreau. Players lost this season. Goalie Yaroslav Halak to the Rangers, Brad Hunt to the Avalanche, and Matthew Highmore to the Blues. They ended up signing Philip DiGiuseppe to a re-sign, actually, 1 year. Ilya Mikheyev from the Maple Leafs to a 4-year contract. Curtis Lazar from the Bruins for 3. Goalie Colin Delia from the Blackhawks to a 1-year deal. Their only notable UFA is Mike DiPietro. And no off-season trades.
No, interesting. The Canucks are just like, we're gonna just re-sign.
I think run it back. Yeah, let's give it another year to grow and another year to get these guys familiar with each other, learn your line mates,
right?
Figure it the fuck out.
They have a good team. They really do. I still got them low on the list though, but I think they have a good team. Again, I like what you just said, where they still gotta figure things out. I feel like the organization knows, just like we have it. We just gotta.
Dude, they are the original puzzle piece.
Yeah.
That's like where I get that phrase from,
Yeah.
because that year that Holtby came over and they brought in all these different guys, and it was like they had such a good team on paper, but the pieces don't line up.
For some reason,
Something
it
missing.
just didn't work. There's just something missing, and I think that's exactly what the Vancouver Canucks know. That's why there's like no trades at all. Just kind of re-signing, and they're picking up 3 guys here too. I still got them low. I'll say it right now. I got them in 7th. In the
Yikes.
Pacific. Yeah.
Yikes.
I really kind of dropped.
You have them dropping, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
It's like last year didn't happen. Just put them wherever you want. That's wild.
Yeah, that'll be my curveball. And again, like I said in the beginning of the episode, I was like, dude, these middle teams 4 through 7. I'm like,
but it goes against what you just said though. They're coming back with like the same team, the same kind of group. They have good players.
I know.
So why are they dropping 3 seeds?
because that's how I have them.
You can't just not give me a reason. You just did it because you like the number 7.
No, because I think the 2 teams ahead of them have gotten better.
That was part of my reasoning in placing Vancouver where I placed them too.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like other teams got better or worse around them.
Yeah.
I did not have them 7th though. I'm gonna go in a little bit on this team because JT Miller, Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson, Bo Horvat, Connor Garland even as like a young guy, Ilya Mikheyev coming over, like that forward group is very good, but like sneaky good. Like a team that you necessarily respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I think Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser have way more impact than people give them credit for. And JT Miller, too. Like, I think people respect and understand JT Miller now, but, like, he had a year last year.
Oh, my God. Career high year. 32 goals and 67 assists, which was 6th in the league. Unreal. JT Miller really getting it done there.
Yeah. And then going to the back end, too. Quinn Hughes, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, bringing that veteran presence. Not exactly playoff experience coming from the desert, but Tyler Myers, Luke Shen, like I think that's decent. That's pretty solid. That's better than, I don't know, 10 to 15 of the teams in the league.
Right.
And then in net, you're really banking on Thatcher Demko because right now their backup is Spencer Martin, who we don't really have too much on. I think you have a little bit on him, right?
Thatcher Demko here?
Spencer Martin.
Oh, Spencer Martin, yeah. He played 6 games with the Canucks last season. Had a 1.74 GA, .950 save percentage, went 3-0-3.
Which is pretty fan-fucking-tastic. But
pretty good, yeah.
A six-game sample size isn't big.
That screams, hey, Thatcher Demko is our guy.
Yeah. And I think, you're really relying heavily on him first, like, to begin with. But then if or when Spencer Martin gets some holes in the ship, like, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do now, Like, you're going to throw this young guy to the Wolves just because you don't want to sign another backup.
I think defense-wise, too. I think a lot of these defensemen now, they want them to score. They want them to be more playmakers.
Yep.
And, I mean, they have 2 here. Quinn Hughes, 60 assists last season, which was 4th amongst defensemen.
Massive.
14th in the league.
60.
60.
That's wild.
That's a lot. And then another one, Oliver Ekman-Larsson here. He's questionable with a foot injury to start the season, but last season had 5 goals and 24 assists. Everything else kind of like falls down a bit. Tyler Myers, 17 assists. I mean, what are we looking at here? Tyler Pullman was questionable, but he only played 40 games last season. But the defenseman needs to come out and really help out because we're talking about these top brass teams. And look at the defensemen, and not only are they scoring goals, but they're up there. They got 30+ like assists. They're really trying to create some offense from the blue line.
The way I've started looking at the blue line in the NHL now, the first pair, they obviously have to be your best defenseman. I'm not going to fucking be stupid out here, but Quinn Hughes, like that's the guy that is creating offense from the blue line. Luke Shen is the stay-at-home defenseman on that line that needs to be like ready to be home and play defense until the guys can catch up. And then in the second line, you need a guy that can, still run the offense a little bit, but both guys need to be defensively minded. And then, so, like, you need, like, one guy that's kind of offensively minded, and the other guy needs to, they both need to definitely focus defense before offense. The third line needs to get on the ice and not be a minus. That's how I look at defense, right? So your first line needs to put up the points. The second line is a split where one guy, focuses offense, one focuses defense. And the third line just has to, come off the ice even or up one if they can. So that's the way I look at it, and I think this is the perfect example of, like, a well-balanced defense.
Yeah.
And just to jump back to the goaltending, like, even if we look at the team in San Jose that we just covered, they have James Reimer, and who's the other guy? Fuck's sakes. Kaapo Kähkönen. If you put either of those guys behind Demko, I would feel much more confident in this team because there's another guy that can give him a night off.
Oh, yeah.
With Spencer Martin, like, it's never a guaranteed night off because if he gets lit up, guess what, Demko? You're going back in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that could be a deciding factor on this team. But just for the forward, star power and the Quinn Hughes capability of becoming a Cale Makar and Adam Fox, like those kind of guys, I put them in the 4 seed because I think they have the pieces, and this could be the year for the puzzle piece to kind of click together a little better.
Okay. Yep.
Still potentially outside the playoffs, but
yep. Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like they again for like the 100th time with this team, they have the guys. I think the guys that they have need to come out with the same fire under their ass like they had last season and just like keep it going. Even like pick up the pace. I wouldn't say just a lot, but just like the exact same, maybe a little more, and really get those goals, really get those plays, especially for the defenseman yet again to really help out offensively.
And I think another note here is that Bruce Boudreau didn't come over to the Canucks till halfway through the season. So we're going to get a full season of Bruce. And when he did come over to the Canucks, he kind of turned the organization around a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I think he got the offense clicking, got the pieces going a little bit better. So I think that's a big factor, too. We get a full season to see what that'll bring him.
Canucks fans loved him. Bruce, there it is. He hated it, but all the fans loved it, So, I don't know. Like, everyone loves Bruce Boudreau. So,
yeah, he gets the job done. He's effective. That's what I'll say.
So, Yeah, you might be right. He might full season of Bruce Boudreau. God only knows what he's doing right now for the preseason and training right now.
Laying back, smashing a fucking quarter pounder with cheese.
Watching Kevin Owens.
He's blowing the whistle again.
I don't know. Whatever he's got to do, I'm all for it.
Guy's a legend. Gets the job done.
100%.
I like him.
So,
all right, you ready to see your 5 seed right here?
Yep.
The Vegas Golden Knights. Am I right? 5 seed?
No.
Oh, you bastard. All right. 4th in the Pacific last year, 43-31-8 record, 94 points. 9th in the West, 17th in the league. Head coach is now Bruce Cassidy, who replaced Peter DeBoer. They lost Matthias Janmark to the Oilers, and they signed Riley Smith to a re-signed 3-year deal contract. Brett Howden re-signed a 1-year contract. Phil Kessel coming over for 1 year from the Coyotes.
Huge.
Keegan Colasar, not huge anymore, actually. He's down to his lowest weight of all time. I think he's clocking in at 207. He looked great the other day.
Talking about his assist, but yep, go on.
Keegan Colasar re-signed a 3-year deal, and Nicholas Waugh re-signed a 5-year contract. Notable UFA is Nicholas Hagee. 4 goals, 10 assists.
Mm-hmm. Can I do the trade?
Yeah, you're on trade duty.
Yeah, I'm
fucking running out of breath over
So
here.
I have a side,
water.
I have a side note for trades here. So the last trade they made before the offseason was actually on all the way back on November 4th in 2021. So they didn't do anything for the trade deadline.
Because they didn't need to, baby. Let's go.
Vegas, buddy.
Golden Knights.
Right behind you. Look at that Knights jersey right behind you. And that trade was actually the big Jack Eichel trade that happened. So, with the first trade that's happened in a while, the Golden Knights traded Evgeny Dadonov to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for Shea Weber. The Golden Knights traded Max Pacioretty and Dylan Coughlin to the Carolina Hurricanes in exchange for future considerations. That guy, yet again, bouncing all around. Lastly, the Golden Knights traded their 2024 4th-round pick to the San Jose Sharks in exchange for goalie Aiden Hill. So, some moves here for the Golden Knights. I think Bruce Cassidy is going to be the first thing I bring up here, and I think he's going to turn this Vegas Golden Knights just like Bruce Boudreau around.
I don't think that he has anything under his belt. Well, I shouldn't say that. Anything in his pocket to get that job done. He has the tools, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Or, sorry, he has the toolbox but no tools. You know what I mean? It's under his belt. He can get it done. I don't know if he has the guys to get it done here now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the short leash that this organization gives their coaches, kind of a red flag to me. I think they brought him in. They want him to turn it around. They don't give him any opportunity, any really good players, in a sense, to make this all happen. And they'll, gas him the second that they can and be like, this is your fault that the organization didn't turn around.
I believe it.
You know what I mean? It's just that just seems like the Vegas special nowadays.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to get a full season of Jack Eichel. Finally, after that artificial disc replacement surgery that he had. He only played 34 games last season.
Is he enough, though?
He's going to be a big pickup here. And then Phil Kessel, he led the team for, not saying really much, but he led the team for the Arizona Coyotes in assists. So big playmaker Phil Kessel is.
Yeah, but his goal production dropped off big time. Only 8 goals last season from Kessel.
Maybe it might be different.
I think so. I think Kessel will have a bounce back year for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's definitely a guarantee. Mm-hmm. Jack Eichel has missed quite a bit of time. New organization, he's still getting used to everything, I think. I'm not banking on him. I mean, even with the Sabres, I think his career high was 36 goals. Mm-hmm. Marchessault's still there. Stone's there. Mm-hmm. Riley Smith is on your first line. That's a little weird to me.
Right.
I mean, William Karlsson's good.
Stone's finally going to be back.
Yeah.
Was plagued with injuries last season. Was placed on LTIR. Had 9 goals and 21 assists in only 37 games played. So another Mark Stone, same thing with Jack Eichel, getting a full season out of these guys.
You're starting to sell me on this.
Yeah.
But
John Marchessault, Karlsson, Riley Smith.
Yeah.
How are you looking, bud?
I mean, blue line's actually looking pretty good, too. Petrangelo and Martinez are your top pair. That's definitely good. Shea Theodore, Brayden McNabb. I'm not questioning either of those. But then I get to the net. Logan Thompson, Laurent Brossoit. That wasn't going into my breakdown of this team. That wasn't my target. I wasn't looking at the net for this team.
But now you are.
I was looking at the back. Yeah, because I think you've really, I don't know. You've shown me that I think they're pretty good on the front and the back.
Yep.
The back office and I wouldn't say the coach. The back offense isn't great. The goaltending isn't great.
And what's between the pipes now that Robin Leonard's not playing? They need something.
Why isn't Leonard playing? Do we know?
Hip injury or hip
injury.
surgery, I think he's going to have.
Yeah.
So he's going to be out for the entire season. And then, again, I think Laurent Brossoit is going to take that starting position, and then Logan Thompson's going to be his backup. But just like the whole we were talking about the Seattle Kraken, or is it the no, we're talking about the San Jose Sharks with James Reimer. That's going to be a backup tandem right there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I want this team to upset me because I have them in the 6th seed because they barely missed the playoffs last year, and it was kind of like a last game decision for them to be out. But then after all the bullshit that's gone around with the media, all the stuff, Max Pacioretty going away for shit, like there's a lot of reasons that I want this team to start to fail. Because if you maintain that middle ground of 4 or 5 seed, missing playoffs, in the playoffs, first round exit, like you're going to be sucked into the state of the major sports leagues where you're not good, so you're never winning, and you're not bad, and you're never getting picks. So they kind of need to start to go downhill, I think, in order to get better. But they have that sounds really dumb to say, honestly, but that's it. I'm just putting it at that.
That's it.
The
Okay.
6th seed.
I think I really boosted them up because you're gonna find, like, again, we're just talking about guys. I can't remember the team we were just talking about, but we were just talking about teams that just like are plagued with injuries here, and this is the Vegas Golden Knights. Alec Martinez, who's out with a facial injury and only played 26 games last season. So he's going to be back in full swing as a defenseman. Shea Theodore, unbelievable, career high stats, 14 goals, which is 7th amongst defensemen, and 38 assists. Dude, Shea Weber on the team now.
Expected to miss the entire season.
Yeah, I was reading that. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. And then, I mean, it just doesn't matter, you know? Like, these guys are just coming back. Again, Jack Eichel, Mark Stone coming back full swing. I think the front and forwards, defense, good to go for the Vegas Golden Knights. And the only question I have with the Vegas Golden Knights is between the pipes there. And that's going to be the takeaway with this team.
Where are you putting them?
I have them in 3rd.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So when I was doing this, I was looking at last season, and I had to pick up or down for them, and I'm just disappointed with the back office, honestly, and I just let them fall in where they fell because I'm fed up with it. So enjoy the 6th seed. We'll see what happens. I don't get anything else for you. No expert analysis here. Get fucked. You like that?
I don't know. I should have told you to place a bet on them while you were in Vegas.
Yeah, but that was when Leonard. I did, didn't I? I think I picked them.
Oh, you did?
They're one of. Yeah, I think they are. I think they're one of my Stanley Cup champions, and it was before Leonard was out. And then that news came out that he'd be missing the start of the season. I was like, well, there it goes.
There it goes.
All right, L.A. Kings. We'll get an actual analysis from me out of this one. 3rd in the Pacific, 44, 27, and 11 record, 99 points for the great Wayne Gretzky. 6th in the West, 14th in the league. Head coach Todd McClellan. Players lost: Andreas Athanasiou to the Blackhawks, Martin Frk to the Blues, Oli Mata to the Red Wings, Troy Stetcher to the Coyotes, Brock Faber to the Wild, and Dustin Brown retired this offseason. They signed Michael Anderson, re-signed for 1 year. Sean Dursey re-signed for 2 years. These are all re-signs here. Gabriel Velarde for a 1-year contract, and Brendan Lemieux for a 1-year contract. Not currently on the roster, though. 8 goals, 5 assists, 50 games played. We know his job is not to put the puck in the net, though.
Nope.
And then they did have one trade here. They traded Brock Faber and their 2022 first-round pick to Minnesota in exchange for Kevin Fiala, which is a pretty good pickup.
Yep. Some good pickups. One thing I don't like is all the losses that they have. Athanasiou, Frk, Mata, Stetcher, Faber, Brown. Well, Brown retired, but that's still a loss.
Yeah, still impacts you.
Damn, like that. Those are 6 players.
Yeah, Athanasiou is really good for them. Oli Mata is always solid.
So, like, this is the reason kind of why they really fell down on my list. Actually, I have a random note here too. I was going through, and this is what I picked up. They've loaded their roster with recent draft picks. Gabriel Velarde was their 2017 11th overall. Rasmus Kupari was their 20th overall in 2018. Tobias Bjornfoot, 22nd overall in 2019. Arthur Kaliev was 33rd overall in 2019. And then Quentin Byfield, 2nd overall in 2020. So they're giving all, like, their high draft picks throughout the past, 5 years, like, their go on the roster. So it's just, like, fresh legs, fresh team kind of coming in. And I don't know. What does that say about this team? They lost a bunch. Again, they lost those huge 6 dudes, and they're just, I don't know. What's this organization trying to do here?
Well, the way I look at it, there was who's the player that I just mentioned, last team or the team before, 2021 pick that is actually active in the roster and like good to go. I forget who it was. Christ. Regardless, I don't think a guy like Quentin Byfield, like second overall in 2020. Yeah, I think 2 years is a good time frame to get him up and in the roster for a full NHL season. Like, that's fine by me. And after that, for Christ's sakes, like, it's been 3, 4, 5 years. Get the fuck in the roster. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they're either up or they're down. So, and I mean, figure out what you have. Buy low, sell high, that kind of shit. So, I'm fine with it all. I mean, the fact that none of those 4 names, I mean, Bjornfoot kind of, have made a big name for themselves after all this time. They're not the names that are going to change the organization. No. I think Quentin Byfield is that guy, so you get him up early and get him in there. But this team, I think, is looking really good. I mean, they have the fear factor of a Brendan Lemieux. I really like Iafallo. I expected him to be on their top 6. He's on the left wing with Byfield. Like, that's going to be a pretty decent line.
Trevor Moore.
Yep, Trevor Moore with Philip Deneau, too, and Victor Arvidsson. That's kind of like the we're all from somewhere else line, but I think that's going to be really good. Kevin Fiala coming in as your first line right winger with Kopitar and Kempe. Only thing that I'm starting to get worried about is Kopitar getting 1 year older, but I see him a lot neck and neck like the Patrice Bergeron.
Right.
Like, he's that kind of player, and I think that he'll be fine with age. Now, the blue line is where we get really dicey. We got Drew Doughty, and that is really it. I mean, there's not too much else to write home about here. Like, Sean Walker's pretty good, but I mean, in the pipes, we're looking solid still. Jonathan Quick, he's another year older too, but he's still flexible as hell. And Cal Peterson, like, I think they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, Jonathan Quick last season, by the way, kind of threw me a shocker. 2.59 GA and .910 save percentage, which was best stats since 2017-2018 when he won the William M. Jennings Trophy. So it's cool to see at his age, just like Jonathan Quick, still like he's still got it in him, especially on a team like the LA Kings. And I still think Cal Peterson is just a solid backup. I love this tandem, Quick and Cal Peterson. I think it's a solid tandem for this team. We can't say the same for the Vegas Golden Knights and the San Jose Sharks, but
if I put Cal Peterson with any of those 4 goalies from the Sharks or the Knights, he is the 1A. He's the starter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So I think that this is a good tandem here, and I think they have a good thing going in net. I really just think the Dustin Brown loss and the blue line is their main issue. And last season, they seemed to do all right. Like, I think they got the job done, and I think they will again this year.
Yeah, they just need to come back like an injury-riddled team here. Alexander Edler was on IR with a lower body injury. He only played 41 games last season. And then you have Drew Doughty, who was on COVID protocol and had wrist surgery. He only played 39 games last season. Mikey Anderson was on LTIR, and he only played 57 games last season. That's like all your defensemen there.
That's not a lot of man games lost, though. Like, he still played 57, still played 41. I don't think they're injury-riddled. I think they had injuries, you know? Yeah. Like, I think any team that you get goes through injuries. It's really about who gets injured and for how long.
Yeah, and at what time, you know?
That, too,
yeah.
you know?
Beginning of the season, probably not so bad. Toward, like, the middle and end, when, like, the points start to matter. That's huge, you know?
Sometimes late can be good, too, though. Like, as bad as that sounds, like, maybe they're out of a playoff spot and, you know, they get injured and they have the offseason to heal and they're back to start the season strong next year.
Right.
You know? So at the end of the day, they call it 10 games.
Right.
You know, injured in April, right before playoffs start, and we're not in the playoffs. I'm not talking about LA here. Just a team that's not in the playoffs. They lose a guy to injury, you know. That's fine. Heal up. We'll see you next year.
Yeah. I like Adrian Kempe here. 35 goals, which was a career high, and 19 assists, which was second career most.
Hell yeah.
So Adrian Kempe needs to stay on that. And I'd say Kopitar, too. Still, dude, Kopitar's been like, he's been solid for like ever since coming on the LA Kings here. 48 assists, getting the job done, 19 goals. It's fine. Kevin Fiala, as we just talked about, career high stats, 33 goals and 52 assists.
That's what I was just going to go to next. Hell yeah. That
hell
top line's fucking good, man.
Yeah, really fucking
Don't
good.
sleep on this team.
Nope.
Don't put them. Where are you putting them in that 5th seed? You eyeballing that 5th seed?
I am eyeballing that 5th seed.
Oh, you motherfucker.
Why?
I got them in the 3 seed.
Okay.
I think they're going to maintain.
I got them in the 5th.
It makes sense. They did lose more guys than they brought in, and I think Athanasiou and Mata and Brown are really big hits, but I don't know. I didn't see any, you know, glaring reason to bump them into that next set because they finished the season with 99 points. The Knights and the Canucks finished with 94 and 92. and everyone else is under 80 points. So, the only real people that can chase them would be the Canucks and the Golden Knights. And I do have the Canucks right behind them, and I have the Knights dropping back. You have the Knights ahead of them by 2.
Yep.
But the Canucks dropping way down.
Mm-hmm.
So,
for everyone listening too, I break these up and put them specific team breakdowns on YouTube, and it kind of gets confusing because we'll talk about in the beginning how we do these ranks, and people will just be like, hey, why the hell do you guys have these guys in 7th place, whatever. But again, like for the specific division, like we were just saying in the beginning, 3, maybe mostly 4 to 7 is just a toss up. Like again, if the one team's in 5th, it's because it's like a slight margin of like a little better in my eyes compared to like the 6, and it's just.
And at the end of the day, I mean, the story of it all is the Vegas Golden Knights with waiting on, I think it was 2 games to finish to see if they even qualify for the playoffs. So that's how nitty gritty and down to the wire these standings become.
Then I like to throw curveballs too.
Yeah, just throw a pick out there.
Just throw them out there.
Who cares?
Kraken, number 1 in the Pacific next season.
Why not?
Why not?
If Toronto can do it, so can they. All right, you ready for Edmonton?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, 2nd in the Pacific here, 49-27-6 record, 104 points, 5th in the West, 11th in the league. Head coach is Jay Woodcroft, replacing Dave Tippett. They lost Josh Archibald to the Penguins, Zach Cassian to the Coyotes, and Kyle Turris retired. They signed Jesse Puljujarvi to a 1-year contract, Kaylor Yamamoto to a 2-year contract, Evander Kane re-signed 4 years, Brett Kulak re-signed for 4 years, goalie Jack Campbell from the Maple Leafs, smart move here, signed him for 5 years, and Matthias Janmark from the Golden Knights to a 1-year.
Evander Kane getting that money.
Their notable UFA is Ryan McLeod. Jesus Christ. 9 goals, 12 assists in his first full NHL season. And if you'd like, you can tackle the trades here.
Notable UFA, you said Ryan McLeod. I think they actually just...
Jesus. Oh, my God.
What'd you say?
McLeod. What the fuck?
It's all right.
I can go home.
Hockey names are a little difficult here. But, Ryan McLeod, if I'm not mistaken, I think they recently just signed him, and I forgot to edit it back to the sign. I don't know if you want to look at that up while I
I'll check it
out. Here, yeah. So for the trades here, the Edmonton Oilers traded Zach Cassian and their 2022 first-round pick to the Arizona Coyotes in exchange for their 2022 first-round pick, 2024 third-round pick, and 2025 second-round pick. The 2022 first-round pick that they got was Reed Schaefer of the Seattle Thunderbirds in the WHL. It's funny. I never edited. I could have swore it was either yesterday, maybe the day before. No, nothing?
No, he signed. 1 year, $798,000 contract.
There we go. Yep.
Played 71 games for the team last season, 9 goals, 12 assists.
Nice. There we go. Yep, I knew it. As soon as I saw Ryan McLeod, I'm like, damn it, I forgot to edit that in. And I knew they signed him, too. All right, so no notable UFAs. They finally signed Ryan McLeod here. So we're going to throw him in there, too. Dude, Ryan McLeod, Zach Hyman, Connor McDavid, Evander Kane, Nugent Hopkins, Draisaitl, Yamamoto. I mean, come on.
My boy McLeod. Don't forget about him.
Yeah, McLeod's really getting it done. Matthias Janmark missed time with upper body injury last season. Had 9 goals, 16 assists, and 67 games played with the Vegas Golden Knights. And then for the other two, it's Derek Ryan and Devin Shore. Both Devin Shore only played 49 games last season. But again, this is just like the same Oilers team that we saw last season. They're gonna
be better.
They're gonna be better.
They have Jack Campbell in net.
Yes.
They're going to be better, man. This is going to be a good team.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cody Ceci, Darnell Nurse on the blue line. Like, I have no problems with this team right now.
Nope. Not at all.
If you're an Oilers fan, you should be very happy.
Oh, yeah.
Especially with Kane, dude, inking that long contract. I think that's good. I think he's, like, turned the page and moved forward a little bit in life. And, he got his money and he's going to earn it. He loves this team. I think he loves this city. And let's go. Let's go Oilers.
Yep. I mean... I have a note here. Oscar Klefbom is expected to miss his second season in a row with the shoulder injury, but I don't know. Like, they're fine with that roster. Like, they're fine.
Yeah, that'd be a nice late season addition, but fine.
And then, so Evan Bouchard here, the Bouch Bomb himself. First full NHL season last season as a defenseman, 12 goals and 31 assists, getting it done on the blue line. Again, we've been talking about defensemen on the blue line, making some plays, getting some goals. 12 goals for a defenseman is pretty damn good.
Oilers fans, leave some comments below. Does anyone actually call him the Bouch Bomb?
No, they call
The
it
people must know.
They call it slap shots on the blue line, boosh bums.
Oh, yeah. Do they?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me know. Let me know, fans.
All right, do it. Goalies, we're talking about Jack Campbell, that sign here. So, most games played in career with 49 last season. 2.64 GA and a .914 save percentage with a 31-9-6 record and 5 shutouts, which is tied for 4th most in the league last season. Jack Campbell, pretty shocking with the Toronto Maple Leafs.
We don't need him. You know what I think at the end of the day? It's cap space and the way that the Maple Leafs have really locked up their cap in 5 or 6 guys.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, like, I don't know. I that's the only answer I can come up with because that's a great goalie and they just let him walk.
Right.
It's wild.
It's wild. But I have really nothing to add to this Edmonton Oilers team. If you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, just like buckle up, baby. It's going to be another last season just like in this season.
And the best part is the team that you were most neck and neck competing with got worse.
Yeah.
So I think you are solid to win this division.
Solid.
Right?
The Pacific, yeah.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. We both have them in first?
We do.
Mm-hmm. Oilers first in the division, baby.
That's right.
I'm gonna put
Battle of Alberta.
I'm gonna put
goes to Edmonton.
I'm gonna throw this. This is gonna be the quickest team breakdown on our YouTube channel.
I just think
a lot of them are like 10, 12 minutes long. It's gonna be like a 4-minute thing. Be like, nope, you're good. Okay.
Yeah, I just think there's not much else to say. Like everything that we're going to say is already covered by every analyst, expert you've ever met or heard of on the internet because Connor McDavid is on this team with Leon Draisaitl, and it's all looked at under a microscope.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the depth of this organization is what's going to change them this coming year.
Yeah.
And the goaltending.
Right. 100%.
Not to disparage Mike Smith and the job that they had in the playoffs. Like they got a hell of a job out of him.
But man, they signed just the right players too. Puliavi, Yamamoto, Evander Kane, Kulak. Talked about Evander Kane, how he turned his career around.
Dude, sneaky pick for the Cup Finals next year, Edmonton.
Sneaky
Jack
pick.
Campbell in the Cup Finals, though, it doesn't sound right.
Sneaky pick. Talking about Evander Kane, too. 22 goals and 17 assists with a plus 25 while he was on the ice. And 43 games played because he signed with the Oilers on January 27th. Played half a season with those stats, buddy. Can you imagine him on a full season now? First line, Oilers?
I blacked out. What'd you say?
This Oilers team's going to be so good.
It's going to be nuts.
Yeah. So, that's it. That's all I got to say. There's really nothing much to go down. If I went down all these stats, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ.
Are you ready for the post-to-post picks?
Yeah.
All right, this week's post-to-post picks segment. Will the Oilers make an appearance in the Western Conference Finals?
That's a good question. Who do they have?
The fuck do you mean who they have? They have the entire West to go through.
That's what I'm saying. Who else? Who's a big... It's not Calgary. Not much anymore.
No, yeah, they have to get out of the Pacific to go to the Western Conference Finals, too.
Right.
There's like... Oh, they have to get to the... All right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I could see them getting bounced in the Western Conference Finals. That's the thing. But I don't want to say, will they go to the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
Because that's a dumb question, I think.
That's
a maybe, though.
That's a Hail Mary right there.
It kind of is. Like, that extra round kind of...
Yeah. You know what? I'll say it. They'll be in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, probably against, what, Colorado?
Shit. Yeah. Oh, that'd be... If it's the Colorado of last year and the Edmonton Oilers that we're talking about now, that'll be a good matchup right there.
I'm gonna say no.
You're gonna say no? I'll say yes.
I just think that anything can happen in the playoffs, and if there's a team for anything to happen to, it could be the Edmonton Oilers. Kind of like the Maple Leafs.
Yeah,
that would have been a good post-to-post pick. Will the Maple Leafs win a playoff round? Because Matt would say they're winning the fucking cup.
They're winning the cup, right? Big Toronto Maple Leafs guy over here. No, that's a good question.
I don't know. That question that I had kind of sucked, but in my head it sounded really fucking good.
Yep.
So, let's move right along here.
Mm-hmm.
Calgary Flames last season, first in the Pacific with a 50-21-11 record, 111 points, third in the West, sixth in the league. Head coach Daryl Sutter.
Farm guy.
Players lost last season. Matthew Tkachuk to the Panthers, Ryan Carpenter to the Rangers, Johnny Gaudreau to the Blue Jackets, Eric Branson jumped in his suitcase going to the Blue Jackets, Cal Yarncroc to the Maple Leafs, and Sean Monahan to the Canadiens. They signed Oliver Shillington, re-signed to 2 years. Andrew Mangiapane, re-signed to 3 years. Trevor Lewis, these are all basically re-signs. I'll tell you when they're not. Trevor Lewis for 1 year, and Nikita Zadorov for 2 years. Kevin Rooney came over from the Rangers for 2 years. Nazem Kadri came from the Avalanche for 7 years. Adam Ruzicka. I think it's
Ruzicka.
Ruzicka. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Re-signed 2 years. It looks like he's going to play for, or at least start the season with the Stockton Heat.
Mm-hmm.
And you can handle the trades because I love when you do that for me, bud.
Nice, no problem. So the Calgary Flames traded Matthew Tkachuk and a conditional 2025 fourth-round pick to the Florida Panthers in exchange for Jonathan Huberdeau, Mackenzie Weegar, Cole Schwindt, and a conditional 2025 first-round pick. You know, this was crazy, and then we were just talking about how, like, they got absolutely fleeced in this deal. Like, it's crazy. Lastly,
No, you got it backwards.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They fleeced the Panthers.
They fleeced the Panthers.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, sorry. Did I say it wrong?
Yeah, you're saying they got fleeced.
No, sorry.
They did the fleecing.
Yeah, they did the fleecing. Lastly, the Calgary Flames traded Sean Monahan and a conditional 2025 first-round pick to the Montreal Canadiens in exchange for our guy future considerations.
So who did the fleecing? Right there.
The Calgary Flames.
That's right. They got future considerations.
Yep.
That's a big-time fleecing right there, Matt.
That dude's been all around. Talk about veteran presence. There's no veteran presence more than future
Guy's been around for
considerations.
years.
Oh my God, he's touched every.
When's he
team
gonna
in the
retire?
NHL. He doesn't. That's how good he is.
That is the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, he beats Wayne Gretzky, you know. But I mean, look at the like. Well, I'll kind of just want to go down a list here of what the team looks like. Jonathan Huberdeau, Elias Lindholm, Tyler Toffoli, Blake Coleman, Kadri, huge pickup, Mangiapane, Pelletier, Backlund, Dubé, Milan Lucic, Kevin Rooney, Trevor Lewis. And then for defense, you have Hannafin, Anderson, Weegar, Tanev, Zadorov, Shillington, and then for goalies, Jake Markstrom and Dan Vladar. They definitely seem like a different team somewhat, but still one of the best teams in the Pacific in my eyes.
Yes, they are definitely still ultra competitive. They kept the same people in the pipes. They brought in all-stars to replace all-stars. The only problem is they're not the same team. Right. You know, it's not necessarily better or worse yet. We'll find out at the end of the season.
Yep.
But since they're different, there's another factor to everything. You need to learn where this guy's going to be on the ice, what his tendencies are, what he brings to the table. Mm-hmm. So with that added to the mix, that's really the only reason that I bumped them down. Mm-hmm. Because on paper, this team's fucking sick.
Yeah.
This is like when you play the NHL GM mode and you're trading away fucking like fourth-round guys and getting your second-line center. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, these guys are set up for success, but I just think Edmonton is going to roll a little bit here. I think this season is the season for Edmonton.
For Edmonton, yeah. I mean, the Flames, again, have those guys. The first name I said is Jonathan Huberdeau here. 30 goals, career high and leading 85 assists last season, which equals out to 115 points, which is second most in the entire league. Now let's look at Elias Lindholm. Career high 52 goals, tied for 8th best in the league, and 40 assists. Those top two guys are just, they'll help you out. And that Nazem Kadri pickup is going to be massive. 28 goals and career high 59 assists. 3 big playmakers / goal scorers that you have on your top two lines there. Again, Calgary Flames still looking really, really, really good, but I think they lost a little too many players for them to kind of compete with this Oilers team, or at least stay with them, you know?
I think they honestly will still stay with them, especially where they have the Jennings Trophy winners here with Markstrom and Vladar. Mm-hmm. I just think, you know, like, I think Kadri's a great two-way guy. Like, that's another player on the roster that I don't think they had a guy that was as good of a two-way player as Kadri can be and still be that much of a factor in the playoffs. Like, that's what I think the big money sign was for Calgary here, was the fact that Kadri is a playoff producer. Like, that's big. Tyler Toffoli, Huberdeau, like, I'm just going to repeat everything you said, basically. Yeah. But they even have the young guys producing, like Andrew Mangiapane. Like, granted, he's on some sick line, but, I mean, and they have the fear factor of Milan Lucic. These two teams are set up to play each other in the playoffs, which is sick. Mm-hmm. Like, these guys are made for the postseason, too.
Yeah. Again, when I say they're not going to be neck and neck, they're still going to be right there, just exactly what Chris said. And I want to go back to the Jacob Markstrom and Dan Vladar tandem for a long time running in the beginning of last season. They were the best tandem statistically in the league. And that's just that's Dan Vladar coming from the Bruins like that past season and really showing what he's got. Dan Vladar last season, most games played in NHL, 25 last season to help out with Jacob Markstrom. Had 2.75 GA, .906 save percentage. And then Jacob Markstrom here, career best season with a 2.22 GAA, which is third best in the league, and a .922 save percentage, which is tied for third best in the league, as well as league leading 9 shutouts last season. Dude is just Markstrom's gonna stay the Markstrom, gonna still be there, and I think it helps out when you have a goalie like Jacob Markstrom, who you can be confident in your backup to give him the break he deserves, so he can go in like fresh legs, possibly give him like a night off, so he could come in like fresh legs.
Mm-hmm.
Where I think I talked about Tuukka Rask back in the day, where the Bruins like just couldn't do I don't know what the hell their plan was, but they're just like, nah, Tuukka could play 82 games a season. They were just like refusing to give him like a good backup, and I don't know. I don't know where I was going through with that, but I'm talking about.
No, definitely. You need a good backup to rest up your starter, and like if you don't have that, that's a big issue.
Mm-hmm.
I think the big thing with this team is from last season, point production is coming from everywhere on the fucking ice. We have, and this includes their new players that have been added to the roster, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 career highs on this team. If you count the goaltender too, let's call it 11.
Yep.
There are 11 players that hit career highs with their stats last year. A lot of assist makers in this team. 85 assists from Jonathan Huberdeau. Wasn't with this team last year, but he was the league leader for assists. Like, that's going to be huge. A huge addition. Elias Lindholm with a career high 42 goals. Granted, different line mates, but I think he can still make it happen. Even on defense, career high for Rasmus Andersson, 46 assists. That's fucking big.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of impressed to see this.
Yeah, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, we're still looking at like a really good Flames team.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
Definitely got a gap on the 3 seed.
Oh, yeah. 1 and 2, right to 3. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a gap there. Whoever's like...
I'd say at least 10 points, maybe 20.
I think whoever hits that third... I have Vegas.
20 is actually a lot. Never mind. Jesus Christ. Probably a 10-point gap, though, I'll say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, whoever hits that third... spot right there in the Pacific, I think, we're talking about that point gap between 1 and 2.
Dude, the most heartbreaking part of having it be the top 8 seeds in a division, like, that's so sad to see a 5 and 3 when you get the 4 seed and you think you're in the playoffs and then boom, you're not,
Yep.
So, you ready to run it down 1 through 8?
Let's do it.
So we both have Edmonton in the 1st seed.
Mm-hmm.
We both have Calgary in the 2nd seed.
Yep.
I have LA in the 3 seed. And you have Vegas in the 3 seed.
Yep.
Vancouver for me.
Oh, you didn't write mine down?
No, go ahead and say it.
Okay.
I want you to tell the class.
All right. So in 4th, I have the San Jose Sharks.
Woof. In 5th, I have the Anaheim Ducks.
I have the LA Kings.
And then the Knights I have in 6th.
I have the Anaheim Ducks in 6th.
And then I'll round it out with Seattle and San Jose.
And then I got the Vancouver Canucks in 7th and Seattle Kraken in 8th.
There we go.
Mm.
And just so you're aware, our biggest gaps are Vancouver for me in the 4 seed, and you have them in the 7th. I have San Jose in the 8 seed, and you have them in the 4.
Ooh.
Vegas, we have a 3-6 gap too.
Yeah.
Which is similar to the Vancouver one.
Where did you put Vegas again? Sorry.
6 seed.
Yeah, I shot Vegas a bit, but I honestly do think that team's gonna make a little comeback here.
I think that's one team that could go either way, but like for me, like between the two of us, we either moved them up or down 1 or 2 slots, which isn't crazy. But it's really just a matter of which way the curve trends,
Mm-hmm.
And I think Bruce Cassidy can get that team off to a pretty decent start if they're all on board.
See what happens.
We shall see.
These are all suggestions.
Yeah. This is not the gospel.
No, not at all.
You don't need to crucify us.
This is not set in stone. This is just us like seeing these stats, literally comparing stats in a roster to last season, not looking at because this new season hasn't started. We have no idea what the hell teams actually look like right now currently.
I'm glad that the breakdowns are done.
Yeah,
we are looking forward to the start of the preseason and getting everything rolling.
Oh my God, it has been a hectic month. I mean, it was just for me. It's been go with these notes. Like when I do these notes, I have at least 12 to 15 tabs open on my left and going through different websites for like injuries, because there'll be like a website where it'll be like this guy is injured, and then I'll go to another website and they'll be like no, this guy was he's fine. He's off injury. You're like, all right, what the fuck do I choose here? Then you're going through like the rosters and everything. So it's been hectic. It's been a lot of work. I'm glad it's done. I'm glad we all got a look on what the teams look like coming into this new season. So we can kind of
Yeah, very big round of golf claps from me for you. Big respect. Thanks a lot for taking care of these notes. This was huge. This came out really good. But I can't give you a compliment without dusting you because you took all this time to make these notes and you still put the San Jose Sharks in fourth. What the hell? All right, I'm gonna mark these. So San Jose is one of them. That's fucking crazy. Toronto's one. Winnipeg's the other. Which division am I missing? Where did you not do a crazy pick? The Metropolitan Division. You have the Blue Jackets in second. That's the one. So I'm marking these to be like, what the fuck? Next episode, this is going to be a little mental note for us. You need to mark down on mine. We'll do it after this episode, and we'll cover it next week. I want you to tell the listeners what my craziest picks were. Because I have one from each division, too, because I have one from each for you.
That was kind of my goal with this, too, I just
marked them red, because I know they're going to be wrong. I'm just kidding.
that was the goal when doing this, too. I was like, I got to pick, like, one or two teams that, like, just throw a curve.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the standings line up, and you're like, holy shit, like, this guy finished there? Like, that shouldn't have happened, you know?
All of a sudden, we're talking about the Edmonton Oilers, but God help if, like, they had three guys for some reason in the first 2 weeks go out in some crazy injury and then just shit the bed, you know?
Yeah.
So you just don't know. But from, like, the stats and everything we're seeing now, we can kind of get a little hint of where they'll be maybe in the standings and what they'll look like. This is more so what they look like in the Pacific, not so much where they should be in the standings, but more so where they compared to every other team in their division. You know?
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah,
because I'm looking at it as a hard, like, they're in, they're out. You know, like, they're better than this team.
No.
Yeah,
no, this is just a look in. But yeah, we could be wrong. Could be another Montreal Canadiens getting into the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, there's always one.
Never know.
Dallas made it that one year. Always happens.
Oh shit, I keep forgetting about
Kings
Dallas,
won the cup that way.
That's nuts.
It's nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm so glad this is over.
You want a shot?
I want a shot. You want a shot? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
a Jello shot.
Yeah. Ran out of nips and then
dude, they open so much easier when they're not frozen solid.
Dude, we got Jello shots. All right.
We got blue.
I love Jello shots.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, can I just...
Cheers, buddy.
Cheers. So much better when, like, it's not
strong,
frozen.
Though.
Yeah, but...
Whew.
Yeah, that was strong.
In a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you do a shot, they are strong. Yeah, when they're not frozen solid, that was much easier.
And we're not sitting there doing crazy ASMR. And
just slurping them.
Slurp them out, yeah. I don't know, but yeah, that was way better. That was way better than we thought about.
And they opened easier, too. I remember last time I was struggling. I don't think I've opened my own nip in like 5 weeks, too. Those McGillicuddy's caps are getting me.
I've been having to help you out. I help out our friend Tommy, too. He's got the metal caps are just terrible. But, yeah, I want to thank everyone for watching these and listening in on these breakdowns. I did a lot of work on these. And I really enjoyed doing it. It just kept I learned a lot about, like, the teams, just like players, stats. Like I just learned more as I went, and it was good for me. I think it's good for everyone listening in, and yeah, it's been great. So next week we go back to kind of normal stuff. Maybe pick up on some news that we haven't been talking about, and it'll be nice.
Yeah, maybe we'll go back and, like, double check the last 4 weeks when we did the breakdowns and see if there's any news that we really need to touch on.
Yeah.
So should be a decently filled episode next week too.
Yeah, I knew I was throwing a few things your way where, like, there was a few signs or something that I had, like UFAs. Rangers had a crazy trade that happened this week, and I sent it your way. So we'll maybe touch up on that next week.
Yeah,
you know?
Perfect.
But with that said, you want to call us out for our last breakdown?
Yes, sir. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace.